Hi guys! So today we're going to be doing some DIYs inspired by watermelons. We are going to be making this really cool watermelon shirt, these adorable and funky watermelon shoes, and my favorite, this awesome looking pair of watermelon shorts. So a little bit of a background story. The other day I went to the mall and I found this adorable purse, which I ended up buying, by the way, of a watermelon slice. As I browsed some more, I realized that a lot of things were inspired by watermelons. I found a perfect pair of shorts and I knew I had to do some DIYs. So let's get started. This is Tania and welcome to my channel. Well, first of all, let's get this car washed because the struggle is real. All clean. So for this DIY, you're going to need a plain white t-shirt, some plain white shorts, and if you don't have white shorts, you can just get any denim ones and just bleach them out. You're also going to need some sneakers. If you don't have red ones like I just happen to have, then get some white ones and dye them beforehand. So get into some clothes that you don't mind getting stained or ruined. First, you're going to need some clothing dye. I got red, pink, and green. Then you're going to need some permanent markers in the shades black and green. If you want, you can use puffy paint as well. You're going to need some plastic liners, rubber bands, and buckets. The first step is to grab a pot and fill it with water and put it on the stove for it to boil. While that's sitting in the stove, you have to grab your shorts and your t-shirt and get them wet. Make sure to wring out the excess water. Once you get the water to boil, then you distribute half of it on a bucket and half on the other one. Make sure to set your plastic liners or trash bags like I did on the floor beforehand so you don't make a mess. The next step is to start diluting some of your dye in your boiling water. I didn't want it to be exactly red, so what I did is that I got a little bit of that red dye and then I added more of that pink. In the other bucket, I added the green dye. Make sure to stir so that everything will be coated evenly. We're going to start with the shirt, and since we are going to do a tie-dye effect, I twisted the shirt and then I added 2 rubber bands, making sure to leave a little bit of space in between them. So the top part is going to be the red part of my watermelon shirt. The bottom is going to be the green, and that space that we left in the middle is going to be the white, resembling that white part in the rind. Once your shirt is tied and ready to go, you're going to set one end on the green bucket and the other one on the pink bucket. Make sure that you dip it all the way to the rubber band so that you do have that defined line. Make sure that you get help from an adult to do this because the water is really hot and you might burn your fingers. The longer you leave the piece of clothing in the dye, the darker the color will be. So make sure that you keep an eye on it and just keep dipping it until you have the desired color. I wish I would have left it a little bit longer because once you wash it and dry it, the color will fade a little bit. So for me, it's going to be a lot lighter, but if you want, you can just leave it a little bit longer. Once that's ready, you just set it on that piece of plastic, and we're going to start with the shorts. I'm going to start dipping it in the red first, and I do want it to have a little bit of an ombre effect, so I keep dipping the end for a longer time just to get that darker color on the bottom. Once you have that desired shade, then I squeeze out the excess water, I turn it around, then I start dipping the upper part in the green bucket. The same procedure applies to this side. I want it to be an ombre effect, so I make sure that the end is what I keep dipping for the longest time. So once that's ready, you're gonna lay it flat on some plastic lining, or like I did on plastic trash bags. You're going to want to put a trash bag inside so that none of that dye transfers to the back in a weird way. Then you take your shirt. Since you're going to take out the rubber bands, I just wanted to rinse it to make sure that none of that dye would keep on going in a wrong way. So you're gonna lay that flat for the whole night, and the next morning I took it, I set my washing machine to its normal settings, I added detergent and fabric softener, and I just added the garments. While that's washing, we're gonna start with the tennis shoes. So as you can see, the soles of my shoes are already white. I'm going to keep a little bit of it white just to resemble that part of the rind on an actual watermelon. Since they were already marked, I just started to color in with permanent marker from one of the lines and then just down. I kept on doing this process until the whole thing was green. So this is what it looks like when it's all ready to go and it's already green. We're gonna start drawing all the seeds in. For this, we're gonna start at the bottom of the shoe and work our way up. So this is what size I wanted the seeds to be. I'm gonna try to draw the next one about 2 inches apart from each other. You're gonna continue this process all around the shoe. You can totally use puffy paint if you want. I just thought it'd be easier to just use permanent marker. So then you're gonna do the second row, and what I did was try to make the second row of seeds just be in the middle of the first row. As you can see, you just keep on going until you cover the whole shoe. This is what it looks like when it's all finished. Okay, so now for the shirt. I just wanted to cover the front part of my shirt. You can totally do it on the back as well. So to keep any ink from transferring to the back, we're gonna put a piece of paper inside of the shirt. So you're gonna start drawing the seeds on. I suggest starting from the bottom and work your way up. My seeds are probably 2.5 inches apart from each other. I'm just going to use the same technique that I did with the shoes. The second row is going to be in the middle, and then the third is going to be in the middle of the second one, and so on. You keep working your way up until you get this look. For the shorts, you're going to basically do the same thing that you did for the shirt. You can draw the seeds all around them, but I decided to just keep them on the front. Once you finish drawing your seed, you take your sheet of paper out and you are ready to go. So this is what the finished product looks like. Thanks for watching, and if you liked any of these DIYs, then please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, you can totally leave them in the comment section below. Bye!